Good afternoon, Chiefs. I would like to take this opportunity to speak to the issue with Shawn Atleo. I have to be honest and tell you that it was very difficult to sit here quietly and respectfully and listen to you speak. And my memory cannot erase the fact that I, as a Manitoba Chief, along with the majority of my colleagues that are here today, sat in a boardroom in Ottawa to build consensus. And to the Chiefs that are here today, where we've discussed these different items of business and resolutions, you know how difficult it is to get everybody to agree. But I am proud to say that when we were in Ottawa, we all agreed, every single Chief that was there. When Manitoba stood unanimously and said, this is our stance. And we delivered that message. And we delivered that message to the National Chief's office. And he didn't listen. And he didn't consider it. And I stood outside in the cold and the rain with 3,000 other people in Ottawa. And you still didn't listen. You didn't listen when 4 provinces pulled out of the National Panel for Education. You didn't listen when the Chiefs passed resolutions that said no legislation. You didn't listen when I Don't Know More said no legislation. We don't need legislation. We want First Nations jurisdiction and control over education. So it was very difficult to sit here. But I sat here out of respect for the Assembly, as you are a guest of the Assembly. And I sat here out of respect to my relatives and my kin from Nelson House, because we are in their territory. And I must be respectful to that. But because I know you're not going to listen to me today, I'm going to use the remainder of my time, as it is my right, and I'm going to open the floor to a member of the Mississauga First Nation, Miss Lisa Currier, as she wants this opportunity to address the Assembly. So it was said, can I submit now?
Right up there.
I'm from the Mississauga Cree Nation, Bull Moose Clan, and Bear Clan. Also, Thompson, Manitoba was part of my grandfather Mal's heart trap line. I would like at this point to ask the women who are not a part of this assembly to stand and support me in what I'm about to say. For too long, our women and our youth have not had a voice. You've heard us, we've demonstrated, we've spoken, we've joined movements, we've started movements, and this has been happening since colonization started here. And I would like to recognize and honor the Chiefs that do support the grassroots people, that listen to us, that listen to the women, and listen to the youth, and listen to the elders. I'm standing here with the women of our territory and across Canada. I'm standing here with my ancestors. I'm standing here with my grandmothers. And I'm standing here with permission from my grandparents to do the work that I do as a grassroots woman. I would like to respectfully offer a petition, a letter to you, Shawn Atleo, on behalf of the grassroots people of Northern Manitoba and of Canada. Education in Canada is founded on superiority and patriarchy historically, and is still forced upon Indigenous people presently. Is this going to continue? It is our responsibility to listen to our young people, to protect their future, and teach them by showing them that we can assert our inherent right to educate ourselves, to build our own identity, our own institutions, our own systems. When half of our population consists of young people, and we're handing them over to this First Nations Education Act. They'll be attending these schools under this FNEA. How can we empower them? How can we assert and protect our rights? Change comes through educating ourselves. When we do not educate ourselves on inherent Aboriginal and treaty rights, how can we protect them? How can we teach our young people language and culture with imposed provincial curriculums and standards? Change has been done in the past through educating ourselves. And we have had to educate ourselves a lot. Because if you think colonization isn't still happening, it's still happening. Historically, boom, 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 boom. We can't even keep up with everything that they're throwing at us. That's why it takes the grassroots people to voice and to speak up. And you've heard us, you've seen us. We're everywhere, and we're going to continue. Change has been done in the past when we educate ourselves, and we have to. We have to understand where we are and what we have to know so that we know what we're up against. Why would these bills and legislation be any different when nothing has changed? While costs rise and schools deteriorate, even if they do exist on reserve. This is a cycle that we have to break. We have to break this cycle. It's been proven time and time again that imposed solutions with hidden agendas, such as the FNEA, do not succeed for First Nations communities. Termination of these rights are done through legislation, policies, and land claim and self-government agreements. We have a list of what we want. We want consultation with First Nations. There's been no consultation that is valid, and we don't even know what the proposed legislation looks like. We want First Nations control education. No provincial standards, no curriculums imposed, no education authority delegated by Canada. We want to create our own education systems, curriculums that meet our diverse cultural standards. Increased funding caps that have been in place since 1996. Financial resources provided for not only capital funds, operation and maintenance, but also for new schools to be built where none exist or are deteriorated and in need of renovation or replacement. We're asserting that as sovereign nations of our traditional territories, First Nations and treaty territories, it would be contrary to our sovereignty to accept the delegated authority of a foreign government such as Canada. It would be an acceptance of them as our legitimate government and extinguish our own inherent and sovereign rights as nations. This has gone around. It's been signed by grassroots people. Again, I'm speaking on behalf of Native women, Indigenous women, our grandmothers, and our youth. And I would like to respectfully thank you for your time. I don't know why.
Seeing that there's still a process of signing the petition that's going to take place.